What's up, cinephiles? Welcome back to the channel. For today's video, I'll be talking about another Oscar contender. The movie is called Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, directed by George C. Wolfe. This is based on the 1982 stage play by August Wilson, and this is the second August Wilson play that Denzel Washington would executive produce following the movie Fences back in 2018. Now, before I proceed with my review, why don't you guys show your support to the channel by hitting that like button and subscribing to us for weekly reviews of movies and TV shows. Now, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. The titular character here, Ma Rainey, is played by Viola Davis. She's a legendary blues singer, and along with her band, we have Colman Domingo playing the trombonist Cutler, Glynn Turman playing the pianist Toledo, Michael Potts playing the bassist Slow Drag, and Chadwick Boseman in his final performance on screen as Levy, the cornet player. Now, I did not expect that the story will take place over the course of an afternoon, an uncomfortable and heated recording session, literally and figuratively, as the band members clash with their egos. They will be arguing with musical arrangements at the very least, and the band, along with the manager and the producer, will soon know that Ma Rainey didn't rise to the top of the music scene just because she remained quiet and amenable on all of her terms. There's a reason why each of her conditions need to be met every step of the way. There's gonna be themes about artistic exploitation and the plight and the trauma of the black people that is rooted in the blues music. So this movie has a lot of thematic depth into it, and I'm glad that I was able to see it twice before finally doing this review because I had better appreciation of the movie. But first off, let's get things out of the way and let's talk about the big elephant in the room. This movie has a lot of buzz that this was Chadwick's career best performance, and I have to agree with that. In here, he was just full of life. He's just bouncing around, singing some songs and playing some music, and I was truly gutted when I realized that this man has so much talent to offer to all of his audiences. So it's a glimpse of what we call his second act of career after playing Black Panther of Wakanda. So it's such a real shame. Also, I've noticed that he's relatively thin in here, so I can't help but think that what if he knew that this was going to be his last performance, and that is just truly heartbreaking because he just pours his soul in this entire performance. It's not a nuanced performance by any means. This is a theatrical performance which very much complements the theatrical roots of the movie, and I can feel his passion, his ambition, his drive in this movie, his sorrow, all his traumas that is mostly dealt through monologues. He plays Levy, an ambitious and stubborn character who's really looking for that swell of change because he's part of the younger generation of the black people at that time who truly wants to break free from the class of the white people. In here, he can be cocky and impulsive. He doesn't know yet his true place in the hierarchy, so he will be butting heads against Ma Rainey here. I truly appreciate Chadwick's portrayal here because his character emanates so much with pride, and even if the stage-like quality of the screenplay makes Chadwick's performance kind of look like vignettes of a great performance, these performances are still nothing short of electrifying, and I truly believe that he deserves a nomination here. Of course, another performance that is worth talking about is Viola Davis as Ma Rainey. In here, she's such a force of nature, not to mention that the character she plays herself is already a force of nature, so you can imagine all the commanding screen presence that she has in this movie, from the very slight tonal changes of her voice, from the way she flickers her hand, her deathly stares. She is truly intimidating here, and just like Levy, there's a method to her stubbornness. Her stubbornness is not rooted on her oversized ego. There's a reason why she needs to do things her way because it has something rooted on the artistic exploitation. But there's a truth in what she's saying, that at the end of the day, these people, these white people, are just needing her for her voice, that after they used her, they're gonna toss her around just like a dog. So that's why it's very paramount for her to show her diva attitude, to show a display of power, to lay out all of her commands, because you know, she might have controlled all those people in the studio, but outside those walls, we know who are the persons that are truly in charge, and that is the distributors who dictates the distribution of her music, and she just uses this moment that she has to get back to them. Like, before you're getting something from me, I'm gonna make you work hard for it. So I truly understand what this character is, as complex and as obnoxious as she may sound. And yeah, you can really see the fierceness in Viola Davis' performance. You can see her fierceness coming out from the battered rouge of her makeup. She gets lesser screen time here compared to Chadwick, and honestly, I wish that the movie made her as the center of the gravity because she's the more complex one that you can able to draw a lot of relatable commentary. Ma Rainey believes that blues are rooted on the traumatic experience of the black people, their plight, all these bad experiences, and the creative output therefore is blues. So when the white people sing it, they don't seem to know where it's coming from because they haven't experienced that situation. So Ma Rainey kind of wants to preserve that music. In here, we can see a generational clash against Levy here because you can see that in his arrangement, he's trying to make the music of Ma Rainey here to be more suave, to be more upbeat, something that is more catered to the white audience. And there's the conflict arises because Ma Rainey believes that the blues, it's not something you can recalibrate to the taste of the white audience. And you know, we have Levy here who's just so eager to make a name for his own and prove something to the white and the black audience that he can make music that will be appreciated by both audiences. So I think that's the conflict that the screenplay hashes out subtly and effectively. Like at the end, both Ma Rainey and Levy try to reclaim black music as their own, but they have different methodologies and therefore it will clash on their beliefs. There's even a line here by Ma Rainey. At some point she says something like, if you're gonna tell it right. And I feel like that the sentiment kind of echoes her purpose to reclaim black music, to show that the blues really originated from the black people and it is something that the white people have stolen. I think that's her point here. That's why she's very adamant in giving all the commands, in preserving the arrangement of the music. Okay, let's talk about the screenplay. Maybe because the movie is adapted based on a stage play, I expected that this movie will become a drama musical, but actually it is not. It's more of a chamber of dialogue. And honestly, there's still some stage-like qualities into the screenplay that will translate better on the theater because, you know, when you're on the theater, you're just in the moment being absorbed by the performance of the actor in front of you. Taken into movie format, of course, you will be more focused on the story structure, but you know, having stage-like qualities in the movie does not necessarily mean that the movie is going to be bad. The detriment, however, is that you can feel the story dragging at times, and most of the time you can feel the drag whenever you get some scenes on the basement when the band is there. And you know, honestly, I wish they used more of Viola Davis because whenever she's in the movie feels less of a stage play. It feels more of a movie, if you get what I mean. There's monologues and dialogues about the existence of God, childhood scars. At some point, they're even talking about molecules, you know. I really felt the effort here of screenwriter Ruben Santiago-Hudson in trying to make the proceedings more lively and try to giving more variation. But you know, ultimately, it feels like a collection of theatrical set pieces. I sometimes find that there's too much talk and not enough actions. And music-wise, I think it's a bit far and few between. I wish they could have turned this into a full-blown musical and used more of the songs here. And especially in terms of the story scope, I wish they kind of expanded the story in not just one afternoon of recording session and kind of match the ambition of the movie by including the touring years, so we can have more an organic development, character development for these characters, because there's gonna be some big moment here that happens in the end. And honestly, it kind of strikes off as something more baffling, that's something that's truly monumental for that character. I just wish that the movie is able to shake off its stage-like quality, and same for the cinematography and the direction here. I love that the cinematography captures the darkness in the rooms that they have been located in. The framing is excellent too for our static filmmaking approach. That approach really brings out the best of the character, especially when you lock on their faces, when you do close-up shots. But on the other hand, it kind of works against the film because it kind of emphasizes again its stage-like qualities. As for the supporting cast, I think they're really excellent here. They all have their natural rhythm to make us believe that we're looking at a band who's having a hard time to harmonize with their music and reconcile their beliefs. Special mention to Domingo, Potts, and Turman. Also, sorry to disappoint some of you guys, but Viola Davis does not sing in this movie. She's actually lip syncing to the voice of Maxine Lewis, but you know, she still manages to register Rainey as a creation of her own, so that in itself is an achievement. Overall, this prestige film has a lot of thematic depth to spare. I just think that having thematic depth is one thing, and being able to connect to the audience is another thing that will help the movie leave a more lasting impression to the viewers. I think this movie has a moving script, like it wants to be a profound and powerful look at the lives of black people under the music industry. But as a whole, for a mainstream audience, most of them will perceive this movie as an acting showcase, and that it itself is not a bad thing, because I've never seen Viola Davis and Chadwick Boseman in these roles. I think they chew every scenes that they got in here. Both of them are truly worthy of nominations here for the Oscar season. This is a worthy character study to visit, though I don't think that the 90-minute runtime is enough to be able to tick off the goals that the movie wants to achieve by the end of this movie. But for sure, this movie has flashes of musical intensity, and if you try to approach this movie from the right perspective, you can get something rewarding at the end of this experience. So I'm gonna give this movie a 3.5 out of 5. And that's it for my non-spoiler review of Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. If you enjoyed watching this video, hit that like button and subscribe to us for weekly content. Also, let us know what you think in the comment sections down below. Thank you so much for watching. Until then, see you on the next one.